Oh, good morning, YouTube. It's me again, Ozzy. Today it's part 2 of my series video on starting an egg poultry business. So last time in the previous video I was fixing up the place where I'll be putting the cage, where the chickens will be housed. So if you haven't seen that, check my part 1 video on this channel. So in today's video, I'm just showing you what I managed to get, which is the cage. So I managed to get this cage from a shop at the capital city. There was an option for them to assemble it for me, or to get separate materials, as you can see here. So I opted to get it as it is, separate materials, because I was using the Golf to pick it up. And also, if they had assembled it for me, it would have been difficult to get the cage through the door. So I thought it would be sensible if I got separate components and then built it up by myself here. There's little information on how to build a cage, but I've seen some videos on YouTube on how to assemble it all together. Apparently this type of cage material, they were imported from Alibaba. So if you want a detailed video on how to assemble a cage from Alibaba, there's a few videos I've seen. I'll just share one on the description. I could do it now. The problem is it's dark. As you can see, it's pretty early in the morning, and I'm sort of pressed for time because tomorrow I want to get the feed, because there's a special for a 50 kg bag of layers mesh. So I'm pressed for time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble it. I'm going to cut the video, assemble it. If you want to know how I did it, there's a video on how to do it in the description below, a link. So I'll just show you the whole cage as it's complete. All right, YouTube, I managed to connect the whole cage together. As you can see, this is how it looks. But because time is not on my side and I have to go to work on my 9 to 6 p.m. job, I'll leave it as it is for now. But later on when I get back, I'm going to connect the water pipes and then show you how it all looks like when it's done and dusted. Good morning again, YouTube. It's a pretty cloudy day today, as you can see. I managed to complete the cage and install the water system, as you can see it. I also managed to get some egg trays as well, as you can see here, and some chicken layers mesh feed, 50 kgs, 2 bags. All right, so I'm gonna tell you guys how I install this, the components, in case you want to duplicate the same thing as well. I'm also going to tell you the total cost of the cage, the total cost of the egg trays, as well as the total cost of the chicken feed here. But I'm going to mention them in the currency that we use here in Pulas, but then I'll also put on the video the cost in US dollars in case you are in the West. So now I managed to connect the water system together. So as you can see, the nipples are right there and they're in working order. If you just push here, see the water coming out. Even the one here at the bottom, if you push it in, water's coming out, which is great. So there's a bit of a disadvantage though. I think it's the material for connecting the pipes together. there's some leakages, as you can see here under the reservoir. So this is an L connector, connected it to a pipe, and then another L connector. So there's some leakage, and I think it's just the material from China, you know. So there's some leakage there. As you can see, this is the total water that accumulated overnight. It's not a lot, but I would have loved it if everything was proper tight. And there's a leakage here as well, as you can see, but it's very small. And also here as well, you can see some droplets coming out. See, this is the water that was seeping out. But anyway, the cost of the cage altogether, it's 200 pula. I mean, not 200 pula, sorry, 2,000 pula. To just get all the materials, the frames. They do welding. They had to weld these together. As you can see, the joints, they were welded. This was just scrap metal, so they welded it together. So it costed me 2,000 pula. And the egg trays, in total there's 170 of them. These egg trays, as you can see, they put a capacity of 30 eggs, so they costed 155 pula in the local currency. Now the layers mesh, they were on sale, so I bought two. So each one is 264 pula times 2. So if you, let me just do this really quick. I'm not really good at multiplying. So 64 times 2, that's 528 pula. So I'll put the US dollars together. So if you add the total cost, 528 for the layers mesh, plus 155 for the egg trays, as well as 2,000 pula for the cage, it's 2,683 pula to get these. So remember, this is 48 capacity system here, battery cage. So each layer they charge 87 pula. So since I'm gonna need 48, so it's 87 times 48, which is 4,176 pula for the hens. So now if you add the cost of the hens as well as this, altogether it amounts to the amount on the video here, and as well as in US dollars on the side, if you can see. So that's how much capital you need, around that amount. But you can always negotiate and get a lower deal. So I like to show you something, guys. So this feeding tray here, it wasn't closed at the end, so I made some modifications. I cut some board here at the end, as you can see. This is so that when the hens are feeding, I'll be putting the layers mesh right over here and here and here, so as they're feeding, the mesh, the feed doesn't spill over to the side. So I sort of put these boxes and I shape them in such a way that they block the feed from spilling out. So that's a modification I made. Right, anyway, thank you guys for patiently watching my video, and in the next video I will be showing you guys purchasing of the layers at the wholesaler, and then packaging them into the cages. So stay tuned for part 3 of my series. Thank you so much.